database, in order to save the space, you can have the word, the positive content and negative content. We need to do that. We had to build that particular resource. So what exactly is the sentiment? Those who are not working in this field, just 2 slides I actually devoted for it. One is sentiment is your feelings, the attitudes, emotions and your opinions. Opinion mining sentiment analysis, this term is used, someone said they are not the facts. How? How can you justify this one? They are there, right? If you are with Bombay team and your friend is with Calcutta team, your sentiments regarding that particular good player may be different. Am I right? Yes or no? You are from BJP and you are from Congress. So your sentiments for the leader in BJP may be something different if you are in Congress. Am I right? Yes. I think you understood that one. So your feelings, generally binary opposition in opinion is as well. It's a binary. Generally, means neutral doesn't go with, so they say positive, negative or 0. 0 means nothing, means it's neutral. Right? Okay, sorry, not 0. -1, 0, 1. So these are how we go with. For, against, like, dislike, good, bad, etc. are the things that we go with. Analyzing a sentiment in a statement is not that easy, because if you see, if there is a one senti word, and if you find that whether it is positive, whether it is negative or neutral, it doesn't suffice. You have to go 5 words before that, 3 words after that, and collectively it makes a sense whether it is positive or negative or so or so. So it's not a single word which is contributing. If it is a single word contributing, that is not actual finding out sentences and all that. So now using NLP, statistics and machine learning methods to extract what is the sentiment analysis, how we do, we extract all that meaning, subjective information, opinion mining, and so why it is, that reason already we have seen. We are getting a huge content, in regional languages, and we have to analyze it. So we have to find a sentiment, and the best place to go is that जहाँ money हो, जहाँ पैसा कहाँ है? Marketing में पैसा है, business decisions में पैसा है. So there, if you go, it will become popular rather than going into some like experiment and doing something. That's why we have gone for the sentiment analysis. Okay. So there are 3 different types: document level, complete document and its own sentiment, then a sentence, every sentence, and the aspect. A mobile phone is good, right? Other features are good except the camera. Means overall will give it a different result, but here one aspect is camera. Right? Look of the mobile is good, but speed and camera are not working properly. So these aspects also will help the manufacturing industry for its improvement. So these are all the things that you can go with this aspect level. But it depends. Now just one thing. Recently, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Vijay Bhatkar sir. Everybody knows it, I think. He has given me a problem. He was there for a convocation and he said, if you are working into this one, he started his own research group there to work into. We have got some literature, dharmik आपले जे literature आहेत, पोथी पुराण and all, right? So can you find a sentiment and the emotion in Jnaneshwari? Is it possible? He is working on Jnaneshwari. He has given me some another literature to find out the sentiment and the emotions in this particular literature. Are you getting my point? Because this is lab experience. Finding out sentiment and emotions in such a sort of literature will not bring you money, but they will actually help in building of a good society. So he started doing all that. But sentiment analysis, anyway, definitely it is used for all marketing and all other business purposes. So, what people think? What the people think? What other thing has always been an important piece of information. मैं क्या सोच रहा हूँ, प्रेसिडेंट पार्क अच्छा है, अपना ये जो लेमन ट्री इज गुड, और रामा इज गुड, और ताज इज गुड, राइट? सो ही इज माई फ्रेंड, सो ही विल बिलीव ऑन मी, अरे ये बोल रहा है ना तो चलो हम वहीं चलते, ये पिक्चर अच्छा है, राइट? सो आई मीन व्हाट अदर से दैट आल्सो, which mobile should I buy? Same example, which mobile should I buy? So whom shall I ask? Pre-web it was friends, relatives, or acquaintances. Now post-web you go with blog, blah 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 blah, all these things. Am I right? Even WhatsApp group is added into this one, right? Am I right? Then analyzing all this data was okay, analyzing this data was okay, it was not time consuming, but analyzing this data may be a complex and you need something different for it. So what are the steps to adopt? First of all, you have to create a framework. That's what the steps. Now this is a case study. I don't say these are what everybody should agree with. These are the steps that we followed, right? I'm presenting in front of you. So creation of the framework to enable the organization in analyzing what people saying about the current event. You know that election results you get, right? Immediately after voting, they publish the results, right? You can also do all that. We have already tried for that. I mean, we got 80% of result per constituency. I mean, considering the constituency, not as a party. Develop sentiment-oriented dictionary. This is very important. You need a dictionary. You need a sentiment-oriented. Sorry, it is repeated, I think. Annotate lexical resource for sentiment analysis in regional language. Then develop a model for sentiment analysis for Marathi that we have done based on the dictionary. So our approach was dictionary based, right? So we created a dictionary. So that was the thing. Developing machine learning based model for sentiment analysis of Marathi using annotated lexical resources. We use the annotated lexical resources. So what were the research gaps? Why we developed that one? Marathi was under-resourced language. There were no resources. So we identified that yes, here we can work. Then absence of sentiment lexicons were there. Some were there because Wordnet, a bit of Wordnet was published by Dr. Pushpak Bhattacharya. When he left that Bombay and went to some another NIT as a director, the work has been stopped over there. Absence of benchmark corpus. To compare your result and say that our results say this one, these are better or something, you need the benchmark corpus. And we have got some noisy data also. So we have to remove the noise. Another is that complex ways to express the opinion. Unstructured data definitely it is. Presence of other language words and language construct, that is free word order something. Camera छान है या मोबाईलचा. Here is छान camera है या मोबाईलचा. या मोबाईलचा camera छान आहे. Now try to do this in English and change the sequence of the word. Rama goes to school. School goes to. पूरा change हो गया, right? पूरा change हो गया ना, virtual school हो गया ना. Now maybe ये अपना कोविड सीजन में वो ठीक हो गया, मोबाइल पे स्कूल आ गया उसके पास. But in factual, this complete change is there. So what I mean to tell you that there is a fixed construct of a statement in English, which in Indic languages you cannot follow. Even I mean the best language we say is the Sanskrit for programming. It is because आप उसको कैसा भी statement करो, कोई भी word इधर उधर ऐसे कर दो. Here you have got some limitation. Here you have got some limitations. आहे mobile या something if you do. Your intelligence you will be using to analyze that particular statement, but in Sanskrit it will be same whatever you use. आपको वही meaning मिलेगा जो उसका meaning है. So that is how the thing is. So you have to tackle all this. So these are the resources: Wordnet, Marathi noun, verbs, adjectives. I think 3 minutes for me. Okay. Then synonyms, antonyms, and Hindi. These things are already available a bit. Now this is Marathi Wordnet. You can download it from CFLIT IIT Mumbai site. This is Senti Wordnet. Now see over here, this is POS. POS is, what is POS? Is it visible, everybody? Yes. This is POS, part of speech A for adjective. ID of that particular word is 1740. Positive score is 0.125. Negative score is 0. So definitely neutral score is 1 minus 0.125 plus 0. That will be something like that. Similarly, all this one. See, keep in mind that here positive score is 1 to 5 means it is not necessary that negative score is also, it has to be 0. It can be some contribute. It can contribute to something, some negative. Because some words are used at some particular place, they actually gives you the negative meaning, and at another place they give you the positive meaning. So it's not that. So just keep in mind. So we have got around 65,000 such words, out of which till date around we have gone up to 30,000. Then building up Senti Wordnet, that what we have challenges, we had faced the challenges like something like that, that transliterated word like copy, picnic, ball, email, that they are there. Then presence of Hindi word tarif is ta gaya isme se tarif, right? That sort of word is also there. Then improper part of speech tagging such as Albania, America, other noun words but tagged as adjectives in the current scenario, and some other, right, improper words inside, something like that. Then improper sentiment across, it was also there कि दोनों भी दिए हैं वहाँ कहीं contents. Then this actually we have gone with, but there are, this is what is an important अखैनी, जेली, पांचा, इसका कोई, there is no synonymous word, there is no synonymous word in Marathi for अखैनी, जेली, पांचा. I don't know, I don't know the meaning of that one. So if I have no other option to just discard it from my dictionary, so I have not used that particular one. Likewise, Kalash, English people will discard. Puran Puri they accepted, that's why it is. Guru they accepted, that's why it will be there. But Kalash, I don't know whether they have accepted, but if it is not accepted in their dictionary, then they will discard it. And this is what is a Senti Wordnet, other things that we have gone with. So how we have evaluated this dictionary? We have taken a standard approach. We had a group of 4 researchers, actually the PhD scholars, I mean who are the teachers. One is an associate professor in Marathi, we made him as a chairman, and 3 members. This dictionary was given, all dictionary was given to all of these 3 and even to the chairman to analyze. And we told them that check whether this is correct or something like that. So every 3 has scanned all 30,000 words. It took them 3 months to scan because it is very difficult. They have to find out the words and this and that. So what, but in our lab, we actually did that and then we had given to them. So it took 6 months for we people to sit and translate. There were so many issues, we solved it. They come up with some version, right? We checked where all these 3 are agreeing, so that straight out we have corrected. Where 2-1 it is there or 1-2 it is there, in that case we went to the chairman. We had all the group meeting of our research group and all this one, and we have come with some particular conclusion, right? We have gone with Felici Kappa for that particular, for agreement and all. It is a statistical method for going on to the agreement and all, and accordingly we finish all that particular one. Now these are the results. I think I'll just keep. What is the scope? Last slide for me. Scope. Much of the work is yet to be done in regional languages. Unless we have resource, processing is not possible. गाड़ी में पेट्रोल ही नहीं है तो गाड़ी चलेगी ही नहीं. Then a content available on social media is high, and there is a big demand in processing this unstructured data to find some particular pattern. And this very important. Limited competition. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पुणे यूनिवर्सिटी मेरे साथ compete करेगा, जलगांव का करेगा, बाहर से कोई नहीं करेगा, right? But remember, Zoom is still used. क्यों? It's a pioneer. Make My Trip you are using, then other sites, because it's a pioneer. So be the pioneer. Come into this particular field. We are there to help you. Thank you. Questions? 2-3 questions are there.
When you talk about sentiments, in the Indian language there is something called rus. Now rus.
Now, Russ.
Now there is another rus. There is another rus the sarcasm of young youth.
Yes.
Now suppose for example I make a sarcastic statement that
Exactly.
cutlet is the same as late cut.
Right.
Suppose I make that statement,
Yes.
which is a sarcasm.
Very true.
Can a sentiment dynamic go with
Yeah,
it?
we are working on that. And this work is going with psychologists. Right? We have got a team of psychologists. One, I mean not me, but my colleague and her students. I am helping that particular group. We are finding out that this is a sarcastic style. It is possible, but it is difficult. Yes. Because resources, as I say, गाड़ी में पेट्रोल ही नहीं है, so we are creating that particular resources. If it is mature, we'll go. In English, a bit of maturity, not full maturity, it is there. In English, you can find out a sarcastic. It's a tremendous research is done on to that one. On the same line, we are going it for the Marathi. I'm talking for Marathi only. English it is there, but result is 65% or something, not more than that. So there is also a scope of improvement. But if you work in English for improving the accuracy from 65 to 90, by the time you start, somebody will go on to 70. So your competition is.
Yeah, I mean just to अभी आपने बोला गाड़ी में पेट्रोल नहीं है. गाड़ी में पेट्रोल नहीं है is a clear cut negative sentence.
Yes.
It's a negative sentence.
Very true.
But suppose I say that in a very constructive way. गाड़ी में इतना पेट्रोल है कि हम 2 सेंटीमीटर चल सकते हैं.
Very true. That is possible, sir. That is possible. So that's why when we go for sentiment or emotion, we do not consider that particular senti words. 5 words उसके पहले और 3 words उसके बाद में लेते हैं. So we get that overall meaning, right? So that is true. Very, very true. Because that's why you need all that 8-9 words together to find out the meaning of it. But only thing is there, limitation is there, that the sarcastic word dictionary, right, that is 8 to go with, but this will help me find it out that this is negative state. I can say negative, but I cannot label it as sarcastic. Yes.
Sir, does it happen in between that some new words are added into Marathi dictionary?
It happens, but it is rare because you know that to add a new word into a Marathi, right? One example I'll give you, sir. Marathi vibhakti, how many of you know? सांगा बरं द्वितीय विभक्ती काय? सलाते सलानाते. चतुर्थी विभक्ती काय? सलाते सलानाते. What is difference? When to use it? Now there is a great debate on whether to make it a single or, I mean, एकच विभक्ती करायची or let it be like that. So after 10-15 years of all that discussion, they come up with that. कर्ता असेल तर द्वितीय वापरा, कर्म असेल तर चतुर्थी वापरा. Right? So it is not that easy, but yeah, you can do all that because foreign language or computer is not a word. Now Marathi Vishwakosh, where I am also advisor on that computer study group. So Marathi Vishwakosh is doing all that particular task. Computerला computerच म्हणायचं की संगणक म्हणायचं, माऊसला उंदीर म्हणायचं की माऊसच म्हणायचं. Meaning is different. If you directly translate mouse into undir, meaning is different. So mouse is mouse, no? Mouse is mouse. So these things, as English people are actually adopting our word, we have to adopt all that. Am I right? Yeah. You cannot have Marathi word for every word. That's why transliteration you have to do. Bat. What is bat? Cricket bat. Bat is bat. Right? Now you know that. I mean, many people go with joke. रेल्वेला काय म्हणतात? आगगाडी. आणि त्या सिग्नलला काय म्हणतात? अग्निरथधाम. बेसिकली त्याचं नाव आहे. टेबलला मेज म्हणतो. अग्निरथधाम आवागमन सूचक पट्टिका. वापरणार का तुम्ही? मग तुम्ही काय वापरणार? अरे बाबा जाऊ दे ना, मराठीत बोल ना सिग्नल म्हणून. Even you go into the villages, they will say thank you, isn't it? Yeah. I think one more question. That yeah, please. That's it. Sudhanshu sir, is okay. This last question.
As you said, there was positive or negative score for particular words.
Yes.
So how did you determine whether it is 0.25 or 0.625?
There is one method behind that. It's not that कि मुझे लगा मैंने दे दिया. It's a standard procedure. If you are interested, you please come, because I think they are in hurry. We will tell you. Or if you go to that Indian Language Development Center, no, you will find all the material.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
And
sir.
in spite of that, you need a group of people. You need a group of experts in the regional language to, right?
Understood, sir.
Okay, I thank you all for patiently listening. Thank you very much.
The students and faculty colleagues.
Sir,
Dr. Deshmukh, you deliver an excellent lecture. Actually, this is one of the area which is interesting to me, but not my prime interest, but it is still interesting to me. Because after I came to Maharashtra, I learnt of many other methods of communicating, especially the Tomne method.
So that's why we are asking the question.
So I thank you very much for giving that excellent lecture, and I hope we will be collaborating. And let me tell you, we are going to have a panel discussion pretty soon, and immediately after the session, we are just the guests have arrived, and we are going to have the panel discussion pretty soon. Students, you are requested to attend this panel discussion. You will have interesting questions. We have people from the industry in this panel discussion. Namaskar. We all welcome you to this panel discussion. The topic of this panel discussion would be Industry 4.0 relevant curriculum for building foundation for efficiency and effectiveness. Why this session? During the very founding moments of the MGM University, we were always conversing about how we will have multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary curriculum. And as a result, we have this panel discussion after discussing in detail with our Honorable Registrar Sir, again BC Sir. We have illustrious members in the panel. To introduce to begin with, we have Ms. Medha Deshpande, who is the practicing head of IoT at Expert Global Solutions. We have Mr. Rajesh Morkhandikar, Senior General Manager of Wipro Enterprises Private Limited. We have Mr. Shashi Thete, Managing Director, Sigma Toolings. And as you can see, Mr. Dilip Gaur is an executive committee member of our institution in India, Maharashtra State. So I would first of all request Registrar Sir to kindly felicitate our guests. I would request Madam to felicitate Mr. Dilip Gaur. Yes, sir. Kindly felicitate Mr. Dilip Gaur. And Mr. Shashi Thete, Managing Director, Sigma Toolings. Okay, I will request the panel members to kindly begin with their panel discussion.
Welcome once again all the panelists from MGM University and the University Department of ICT. And I was very impressed by the management to take up this particular topic of Industry 4.0 and how it will be connected with the educational effectiveness as well. So it's important for the students, not only for the faculty, to understand that just like yesterday we had our chief guest here. He mentioned that the problems don't come with a label. So I think that's very true. The education has to be multidisciplinary as well. So the gist of the whole thing is that we have to have an interdisciplinary kind of education. The students need to look at problems through projects and just not the problems. So you're not just a mere computer engineer or a mechanical engineer, but a bit of everything, and you should be able to solve the problems through that angle as well. So I wish the panelists for this conference, and I hope that the students will have a lot of takeaways from this. Thank you so much. I request sir to carry on with the panelist discussions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashishji. Thank you very much. I welcome all the eminent delegates or the panelists who are invited for this panel discussion and all the young students. ये मुस्कुराते चेहरे मेरे तस्बीह के दाने हैं. तस्बीह means जपमाल. ये मुस्कुराते चेहरे मेरे तस्बीह के दाने हैं. इन्हें देखता हूँ तो इबादत हो ही जाती है. Thank you, friends. Actually, this discussion is about the fourth industrial revolution. We all know that from last 4 years we are hearing about the fourth industrial revolution. We know about the three industrial revolution. First was driven by steam energy. I mean, actually, basically, previously people were dependent, or the main business of the people were agriculture. Then steam energy came. First industrial revolution was driven by steam energy. Then second industrial revolution was driven by electrical energy. Third is driven by nuclear power plus information technology, which we entered into the knowledge era. So, bahas badi ki akal badi. So finally we accepted that the akal badi. So that was a knowledge. We entered in the third industrial revolution in a knowledge era, and this is the fourth industrial revolution. This is driven by artificial intelligence. So I believe, that is why we have invited these eminent panelists to discuss on all these issues. So what are your views? Metha madam is, Methaji is from industry. She represents global expert. IoT head, she is there. And she is a woman behind first generation industrialist of this era, is this area, Marathwada area. And that is, all the ladies of her age who supported their husband, and the rest is the history, global expert, everybody knows. There are so many industries here in Aurangabad. They are putting their footprints on the path they are going. So I request Medhaji to elaborate on what are your views, on this fourth industrial revolution.
Thank you, God, sir, for this generous introduction. And hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here in JNEC. So I'm coming here after 30 years. I have a memory of JNEC where I had, I had come for an interview for being a lecturer here, but I was rejected. So it's a nostalgic feeling, coming back here. Yeah. So coming to the topic of Industry 4.0. So yes, Industry 4.0 is a convergence of so many technologies and advancements that have been made in this modern era. Most importantly, what we can understand is that Industry 4.0 or the fourth industrial revolution is really not a prolongation of the earlier third revolution. It has its own distinctiveness, because of the different kinds of technologies that have the technological facets of this revolution, be it AR, VR, AI, ML, big data, cloud computing, cognitive computing, cyber-physical systems, IoT, you name it, and all the technologies are converging into this industrial revolution. And why I feel that this is an important era for the industry is because the industry now has different advanced tools so that it can have an edge over its competitors. It can drive innovation, they can have their own new ideas, and they can see their dreams getting realized with the help of these technologies. So yes, I think because of all these technologies coming in, the industries have an opportunity to cut down on costs. They have an opportunity to create something that will be useful to their or maybe add value to what they are doing. So, and it is only because of these different technologies, I'm sure, this is possible for the manufacturing sector in all. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Medhaji. I would like to have impressions of Rajeshji. Rajeshji is Senior General Manager of Wipro. Wipro, Wipro, we know, the moment Wipro, somebody utters the word Wipro, we know about the Premji and the man who travels in economic class. But they are having such people with them. Rajeshji, what are your views about this Industry 4.0? Sir.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Gosap, and welcome to all students. See, Industry 4, I perceive, in fact, my background, if I look into that, I have been erecting or starting up new projects. I was worked in different departments, right from materials to engineering to projects and manufacturing and all. So the difference in the manufacturing sector is very, very evident. I was, if I look back and see under what conditions the work has started or the industry we had started, and now today, I have, had the pleasure of working with one of the last year, one of the project at Hyderabad. The first plant that we did in 2003 at Baddi in Himachal Pradesh, and the one latest that is in Hyderabad. There is a world of difference in the way the plant's manufacturing part has been integrated. Like for example, we have a process industry, we have a fatty acid distillation plant. So in that distillation plant, earlier I have seen operator going up and down the floors and seeing whether the conditions of parameters that are being maintained in the process are maintained correctly or not. Now in the same era or in the same 20 years down the line, today we have a plant which is a SCADA base, that is supervisory control and data acquisition, if you elaborate that. That particular is installed there, and then you are able to visualize that on a part of the table and then look at the process that it is used for making your product. In that sense, today you are a real-time visualizing the things of what is happening in the manufacturing process. Earlier you were reactive, today you are proactive. I think that kind of aspect which immediately you are able to visualize, and unless and until you gear yourself to take up that challenge of changing your perspective, as embracing the new technology, you will not be able to progress much faster. You will remain the same earlier how you have been. But unless and until you change is a constant. So unless and until you change, you will not be able to progress and see yourself ahead. This is as far as the process industry. But then when you look at every aspect of manufacturing, you start with procurement, you start with manufacturing, you start with inventory control, you start with dispatching, supply chain, logistics. I think every aspect has a link where you are able to progress or take some inputs. You want man as I see it, he is a lazy person. One feels that he is a lazy person. But does it mean lazy? No, he is trying to convert his mundane or repeated activities into one which is programmed. So that why? So that he is able to look into more or work on a more creative aspect. He will look into more improving the efficiency, improving the effectiveness. So these are something which he will like to focus upon. So Industry 4, unless and until you embrace, I think it will be difficult for us to survive. Unless and until you are learning, then only you will be able to be competitive in the market. It is but necessary.
Thank you, Rajeshji. Thank you very much. Shachiji is from Sigma Tooling. He's a passionate person about Industry 4.0. I was talking to him yesterday. Even he was talking to me about Industry 5.0. So that is, he must be. I think he must be of that thought school that we human being, we are anthropocentric, and we think that we are the most powerful species and we want to rule this planet. So he is the man who thinks that now Industry 4.0 it is not thinking about productivity or performance, but it is thinking about what we are giving to the society or what we are giving to our employees. So he's a person who is very passionate about this thing, Industry 4.0.
Good morning all. I can see more students and less faculties here. So as Mr. Gaur tried to explain about earlier industrial revolutions, Industrial Revolution 1, Industrial Revolution 2, 3, and now we are heading towards 5 and still struggling to implement Industry 4.0. So actually, by all means, India is late entrant on all earlier industrial revolutions. Hopefully, you guys must have studied what was there in Industry 1, 2, and 3. But there were reasons behind it. We were under British rule, and somehow we have denied all earlier industrial revolutions. But I believe Industrial Revolution is for us to lead, because we have all the resources, all converging technologies, market, but only thing we need to do is to keep our pace for change. As far as my story of change at Sigma Toolings India Private Limited is my company name, and our story started from very different perspective. One fine day I was in Chicago, somewhat in 2011, and I got chance to attend a seminar on Industry 4.0. And the kind of business thought process we have in India and the kind of business process Americans are following is way different and way ahead. So after that seminar, I decided that I will implement such initiatives. This started in 2011 itself. And by 2016, my factory was completely Industry 4 compliant, and more than that, we have many things which are, I would like to tell you, I have traveled to more than 16 countries and I have visited 35 plus smart factories across globe, you can say, in US and Europe. But what is my observation, as Rajesh sir and Midam was talking, for me it's not a fancy thing like having screens, having sensors and all. My journey, because I belong to MSME. I'm a first generation businessman. I started this industry in 2001. So for me, it started from problem solving. What are my own problems? So nowadays, companies have big budget for their smart factories, and they say, okay, we want to convert this factory, we want to make this factory smart, and that's how they started. They start, but our story started from our problem, the kind of problem we were facing in logistics, in production, planning, delays in delivery, cash flow problems. To solve those problems, we have decided, me and my team, we means it's not only about me, it's about my team back there in factories in Pune and Aurangabad, okay? So we decided to use softwares and technologies to solve our problem. And this is how it started. So for me, like coming back to your question of importance of Industry 4.0. So actually, if you want to grow, because if you want to grow, I will say if you want to grow exponentially, you need to measure each and every process, each and every activity, and for measuring activities or performance of people, team, sales process, everything, you need to monitor it. And for monitoring, you need to do digitization of processes. Because unless and until you digitize it, you will not be able to monitor it. And if you are not able to monitor it, you will not be able to improve it. So in this era of digitization, not only for bigger companies or large companies, even for small scale companies, it is very much essential to have Industry 4.0 and Smart Factory initiative in place. So it is you can say, it is must. You cannot grow without implementing digitization and Industry 4.0. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shashiji. Thank you, audience. Actually, Mehtaji, I was, and Rajeshji and Shashiji, I always think that why this industry, why so everybody is talking about Industry 4.0, why this is different than other 3 revolutions, why this is different. I mean, for me, I think that this is just because of the speed, because this is moving with exponential pace. I mean, for example, if I give you a very simple example, that when we walk 30 steps, each measuring 1 meter, we walk 30 meters. But if we calculate it exponentially, we walk 40,000 kilometers. I mean, going around the planet, this Earth planet, mother planet. So this is the exponential speed with which we are going. I mean, you know that sending a letter previously, when we were kids or we were students, it used to take 8 to 10 days. Now, आपने सुना होगा वो पहले प्यार की पहली चिट्ठी. Now, you know what is the speed of your email? 1.5 lakh kilometers per second. So it is half the speed of light. So tremendous speed, with tremendous speed we are moving. I mean, things which never happened in last so many centuries, they are happening in last 6 decades in economic, in financial area, in industry, technology, science, everywhere. Even our population, we were waiting for 300 crores to cross. This word was waiting. Now in 6 decades, it has crossed 800 crores. So this is the speed of. So I want Mehtaji to elaborate why this is different than other and how it is affecting our lives. I mean, business and industry as well as education also.
So, according to my experience, what really differentiates this industry, this Industry 4.0, or the biggest thing about Industry 4.0 is the data. The data that we are collecting, through all these technologies that we are using. So, I think that Industry 4.0 is all about generating, analyzing, and communicating the data very seamlessly. Okay, so Industry 4.0 is about, it's highly data intensive. So like Shashiji said, you need to measure everything, right? So whenever we are talking about any problem, any kind of issue, what we realize is that if it is getting measured, it will get done, basically. Okay, so if you are going to monitor a process, if you are going to collect data about it, you are going to see the results, based upon that data. So Industry 4.0 is only about understanding the data that you have collected through the various avenues that you have employed there. I can quote a very good example here, based on the different kinds of projects that we do. So like everybody knows about IoT, isn't it? So what does IoT do is basically you have machines, those machines generate data, and that data basically helps you to unveil so many secrets of the shop floor. And we have seen that, happening very clearly. So we have this customer of ours, and they have, these filling machines. Okay, and with the help of, from what we did from, with these machines was we collected only 2 parameters from that machine. Okay, only 2 parameters. One was the the fill weight that was being captured, and the other was the check weight that was being captured. Now, based on only these two parameters, we were able to create a dashboard for the two very basic KPIs of OE and process capability. Okay, two simple parameters. So now these two parameters are traveling from the machine right up to the cloud. Okay, and like traversing, like reaching the data acquisition device, the IoT edge, the IoT hub, and then the database, and then we have a Power BI dashboard on which we are showing all of this. So like I always wonder, like only two parameters, but the kind of mileage that the company now gets from this data collection. So I think it is this data which is the differentiator. Okay, and the volume, the velocity, the variety of this data is such humongous that then you need all kinds of technologies like big data, AI and ML to really process that data and give you the outcomes of these. But I really agree with Shashi on this point that so Industry 4.0 is a huge term, like we already discussed, like there are so many different things coming into it. But what I feel is like all industries all over the world are really bothered about one basic KPI of downtime of machines. Okay, so when we say the OE, which is the overall equipment effectiveness, so what do we have into it? We have availability of the machine, we have the performance, we have the quality. Now with this particular example that I mentioned, only two parameters helped us get all of this. Okay, it helped us getting all of this. And now what we are seeing is that only that very basic data gave me information about what was the downtime of my machine. So now the operator is not really bothered about entering it manually. Okay, यहाँ से यहाँ machine बनता, फिर यहाँ से यहाँ मैं चाय पीने गया इसलिए machine बनता, यहाँ से यहाँ meeting थी. He is not really bothered about actually filling this data. So IoT is helping me to get all of this data automatically. He has to do nothing into it. So you go anywhere in the world, every manufacturing analytics platform that you see, the first KPI that it will display is the OE of any machine, the OE of the cell, the OE of the plant. So with the examples that we have seen, there was this another example I can mention here. We had a Czech company which was manufacturing industrial dryers and washers. Now what they wanted was that so they had already created a program which was acquiring data from all those industrial dryers and washers. Now they wanted that data to so they wanted us to understand the data, and they wanted a dashboard where the most popular errors in the machine, the availability of the machine, the downtime of the machine, the number of cycles that happened on a particular machine, all of this should be coming up on the dashboard. Now with the help of only that every 5-second data, every 10-second data, we were able to understand what cycle, when did the cycle start, when did the cycle end, what were the errors that were coming up, what were the most popular, I shouldn't say most popular ones, the most popular cycles that the user was using on that machine, what were the most frequent errors. So you can understand the magic of data here, data coming from the machine, and the magic lies really in how you are going to understand that data and how you're going to interpret that data. So for all computer science professionals, upcoming professionals here, my suggestion to you would be to learn to understand that data. What is that data telling you? So we had our customers telling us finally that, okay, Mida, your team knows more about our data than we know about it. Okay, and that should be your target, I think. Yeah, so as an IoT or Industry 4.0 provider to the customers, yeah, and that I think is the data is the differentiator. If you're going to measure it, if you're going to understand it, you're going to interpret it correctly, I think you will know all about the processes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Medaji, thank you. She is a trainer, and she was a visiting faculty in Government Engineering College. So
I cannot stop before 45 minutes.
How nicely she explains everything. Thank you very much, Rajeshji. I want to know about your impressions. How you differentiate this with other industrial revolutions?
See, the beauty of this thing is that I have seen or I have experienced. We have been the actual beneficiaries of both the industry of 3 as well as now we are seeing 4 also happening. 3, when we see that we have started with computerization. What are we doing with the computerization is we were recording it and we were able to again recall them to see whether what has been there, immediately checking and react towards how it has been, analyze it and then try to work out. So there was a human content involved there. Initially there was a human content involved to think and seek the data. Now in this industrial revolution 4 that we call, or this is, I won't say revolution, it is an evolution. It's an evolution that we are now coming into or stepping into, where where there is so much thinking of making ourselves efficient in the way of trying to make things better, trying to make things simpler and easy to understand, easy to interpret. But when we, many times when we start an industry or start any work for that extent, you come across hurdles. Now these hurdles, immediately first reaction towards that is to get irritated. But I think these are the opportunities for you to immediately seek how I can correct it. When you look towards that side of the hurdle and how to correct it, you will need data, you will need to find out how many times it has happened, you will need to know when it has happened, you need to know how it was corrected. So unless and until these things are captured, you will not be able to come out with a logical and more appropriate solution for that. And looking at this point, if you are getting this is the data when you are reacting, okay? Imagine that you are getting this data on real-time basis. I am sitting here and I know what is happening in my factory. I know what is happening in my industry. I know what is happening in my, for example, market. I know in the supply chain what material, what inventory I have and where I need to take a decision. What is happening here? I am able to make my decision faster. I am able to see that this decision, which earlier I would have seen it tomorrow, we could have done it like this. I am seeing it on a real-time basis here. For example, many a times in our manufacturing side, see, I mean, just to give a background, we are in Wipro, we are the consumer side of it, we are the manufacturing side, not the software side. So in the manufacturing side, a simple case of a boiler operation, we come across from the process, your pressure has dropped in a steam pressure has dropped. Then you will react to say that my steam pressure has dropped, what has gone wrong? So the person will go there, try and troubleshoot, look for avenues where all things are there, what has happened. These are now all real-time available. Combined to it this artificial intelligence, you pre-program it to find that this particular problem, if it comes, what the other machine has to react. If you program it in the initial stages itself, you are cutting down your human intervention. Once you take out your human intervention, the machine themselves decide, your things are faster in terms of decision taking. I think these all things are important for us as far as today we are concerned. Second thing that I am seeing is today when you are getting employed with the existing industries, you may find that there are certain systems already in place. You don't go there immediately and try and say, okay, I want industrial digitization of all my processes and immediately go and change this. No, this is not how you would like to do that. What will happen is that you will find that if you are going to take an advanced machine and you find that these are much more advanced and do a better job than what we are having today, are my systems in tune with taking this new technology? How am I going to take the benefit of this new technology that has been installed in the new machine? I think this is that mentality the person who is having, if visualizes that in the initial stage, in the conceptualization stage, and make the systems in place to see that I am ready for the next revolution to come in, and then keep things accommodative to capture those and be able to respond faster. I think the speed is what you said was absolutely correct. The speed is something which is going to determine. Earlier, it is not the matter in the Industrial Revolution 4 or Revolution 4. It is not a matter of a big fish eating the small fish. It is the faster fish eating the slower fish. The concept here is that if you are slower in responding or matching your steps to the new technology, you will be lagging behind and towards your extinction. You are going in the reverse direction toward extinction. Best way is to be in advanced steps, try and embrace this new technology, see how we can progress ahead, see how we can anticipate things, see how you are able to incorporate this new technology in the machines. Because of the past experience that we have, try and incorporate them into the new technology. I think that should be the outlook.
Thank you very much, Rajesh. See, from the decision maker chair, how nicely he explained what he expects from the new generation students, that you should never make yourself obsolete. You should keep in pace with the changing technology. Shashiji, I want to have your impressions about this. How this industry 4.0 is different than other industry revolution. Actually, when Gadekar sir, Ashish ji, myself, we were on the delegation of, we were taken on the delegation of GIZ, we visited Germany. So they were teaching, Siemens people told us that the final product in the pharmaceutical company will decide what is the chemical composition of that product, what should be the color of that bottle, shape of the bottle, size of the bottle, then what should be the label on the, every thing should be decided by this is Industry 4.0. That is what they taught us 3-4 years back. So how this is different than other revolutions.
See, earlier we have discussed about collecting data, as Madam Ma'am told. Collecting data is important, as even we can also see that all biggies say data is new oil and all. Okay, but how effectively we are utilizing the data, how effectively we are milking benefit out of analyzing the data, that is more important. So I'm from the industry and have implemented it somewhat 6-7 years before. What benefit my company and I have personally enjoying by implementing Industry 4.0, that I would like to share with you. See, before implementing Industry 4.0 in my company, my lead time, production lead time for a tool which we are making is somewhat 24 days average. And after implementing Industry 4.0 and Smart Factory initiatives, it come down to 9 days. Okay. My inventory turnover came down by 67%. Initially, I have 176 people working on machine. Now, I have turnover, I multiplied my turnover by 6.5x. It's 6.5 times more, and my manpower is only 64. I'm working with 64 people now in manufacturing. So, see, you people, student, even you can see Industry 4, and even see, I will take this discussion to another level. Whenever student came out of any college, we industry owners see that they are not. We cannot utilize them immediately because they have come from a different background, the education pattern and all. I will not go into those details, but this is very important for students and faculties as well to understand that what industry needs is entirely different. So how a company can bring his manufacturing lead time from 24 days to 9 days, you people should study, and this is the power of Industry 4 and Smart Factory initiatives. other than that, if okay, I'm coming back to the data collection and all. If we collect data and if we cannot utilize it properly, or for our end use, it is nothing more than a garbage. Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. So definitely industry 4 is very, very essential, and I believe institutions should include this subject and this type of thing in their academics. That's it.
I would like to add one point is which initially both Mr. Mehta and Shashi mentioned is that of the measure. See how it is important. We in the initial stage pioneered Six Sigma activities in our plant. Okay, that was in 2000, somewhere in 2000, where Motorola started that concept. Now, what is this concept? Basically, it is trying to improve your workflow and trying to reduce down your defects and all that. The thought that was impregnated into our mind at that point was that unless and until you measure, you will not be able to, improve. Only those things which you measure can you improve. If you don't measure, how will you improve? Or how do you know that you are significantly improved or not improved? So those aspects, when you are trying to capture or inform or be able to impress upon the person there who is, trying to work towards seeing that your productions are streamlined, you have to measure. Like she said that unless and until know how much I have filled into that bottle, how will I know whether it is filled correctly or not correctly? Secondly, again, whether one is that in a single bottle how much has been filled. Secondly is in 100 bottles how many have been correctly filled and how many have been wrongly filled. That is another part of it. Second thing is in how much time you have filled, how much quantity. These all triggers various aspects in trying to see how you can improve. This measure is a very, very important underlying word, I would say.
Thank you, Rajeshji. Yeah, yes. The real wisdom starts with the acknowledgement of your ignorance. Very nicely, Rajeshji put. You have explained everything. This question is open to all panelists. Anybody can and explain the boys what is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency. As far as you industry people look at the things. I'm not talking about the theoretical. How you any panelists can. This is open for all.
I would like to add into this. We have been, we see cricket. Everyone knows. When you are this is also a point of my confusion when I entered into the industry. I mean, effectiveness and efficiency are we stumbling into each other many a times, and it was used to confuse me. The best way that I understood this is that when you are playing a cricket match, the first thing that you know is how much runs I have to make to win. Okay, so at any cost, when you say that I am going to win, I have to win. That is the question, and if you win, that is you are effective. You are running behind a target, you are running behind that particular goal, and that is where, if you achieve it, then that is you are effective. No, but then where are we looking at efficiency? Efficiency is whether you are going to make that target with 1 down or 10 down. That will, how many players do you require to achieve that? Whether you require how many players, how many overs, how many days. That is going to determine your efficiency. Without taking any wicket, if I am able to achieve that target, I am more efficient. This team is more efficient. If I am doing it in 4 overs rather than taking it 10 overs, I am more efficient. I think that I think should be able to put things in perspective to understand.
So, continuing on the last question of that difference that Industry 4.0 brings in, when we started really working on such kind of projects, we were working on this topic of process capability, okay? And we're just letting you know how things happen in, when we actually work on projects. So, we were trying to understand this concept, and Mukund, one of our directors, he was our mentor in all these topics. statistical process control. So he used to give us examples of how they used to collect data, how they used to put it on paper, and then create those bell curves and find out mean and all kinds of descriptive statistics and standard deviation and everything. So we got to understand those concepts from him. And now what we see is that similar data now we are capturing through a data acquisition device. So I think the way of collecting the data has changed, but the basic fundamental principle behind it hasn't really changed. Okay. Similarly, if you see, like I gave you an example of this beverage manufacturer who is filling bottles with the help of a filling machine. Now, you go in any industry, like you have been in industry, you work in manufacturing companies, so you know that whenever you want to find the OE. Okay, I'm coming back to OE because that is like very near to my heart. Okay, so what we see is that operators need to fill in the downtimes that they feel was the downtime in the chart at the end of the day. Now when they fill it manually, I am sure their bosses do not trust them completely. Okay, they always have that element of doubt in their mind, saying that okay, इसने जो भरा है वो बहुत अच्छे से नहीं भरा है, इसलिए अगर वही 50 दिखा रहा है तो 50 तो है ही नहीं, ये 35 ही होगा. Especially in the night shift. Okay, yes, true, right? So, coming to the question of effectiveness and efficiency. Now, when we implemented IoT in this particular, beverage manufacturers organization, so we did it for its 18 plants world over, global rollout. Okay, so what we have seen is now the operator is really not bothered. He is bothered only about his work. He keeps, he works only for filling those bottles and packets. So that is his work. He is really not bothered about I have to fill this, I have to keep a note of this, I should monitor what was the downtime, what was the reason for this. He doesn't have to do anything of that at all. Okay, so I think that has brought some kind of, so he sees a refresh of one OE every 1 minute on his dashboard. Okay, and that is giving him some kind of a kind of motivation, and he is also aware of what is happening with his machine, what has happened in the last 8 hours, what was the OE, how was the downtime, when was it down. So he really keeps a tab of whether the application is really capturing true data or not. Okay, so I think he has become efficient, and this kind of information that he is getting without doing anything much will improve on his work patterns. Similarly, this information will further lead to predictive maintenance kind of use case of analytics. So what will happen is we will get all data of when did the machine stop, what was the reason behind that machine stopping, what was the level 1 reason, what was the level 2 reason, and we'll be able to find out MTTR and MTBF, which are so very basic information that you need doing predictive maintenance. So like it's mean time to repair and mean time between failures. Okay, so yes, collecting data like Shashi mentioned, you have to know, you need to have that evidence from the data itself that yes, the problem exists. Okay, that is the beauty of data, that if you collect it in the proper way, if you collect the right parameters, it is going to give you evidence that a problem is there, it exists, and the same data will also give you the solution afterwards, right? And that is why I think it will bring in more efficiency and effectiveness going forward.
See, earlier as well, I mentioned that worldwide I've seen these smart factory initiatives, Industry 4 data collection and all this is mainly used or utilized for improving OE, and nowadays people are using this technology for preventive maintenance. But this is what I have seen across globe. But after 2016, I have decided to use this intelligence, artificial intelligence, and this data for many things. Like I have make this as a vehicle for implementing all lean initiatives. So everything, all change management initiative I am implementing through this smart softwares. And we are talking about efficiency. So we, unlike other industries, we are not capturing data to point out our people. We use the data to train them, to encourage them, to motivate them. How? In our smart software, we called it as Karma. It is my own software. I have a team of around 5 people now. So we make our own software. We are an engineering company, by the way. We make our own software. We make our own app and everything, because I realized that outsider agencies or big companies like Expert and TCS, they were not able to fulfill my requirement. So I have made my own team. I have trained my own team, and I'm working with them. So we have a smart module called PMS 360 degree, very unique. So in PMS 360 degree, what we do, it's performance management system. Every quarter, last week of that quarter, we run that program, and the seniors and juniors, those who are related to that person, they marking were a set of somewhat 30 different questions on efficiency, energy, and integrity. So we believe these 3 things should be there with every individual, and we have 30 questions related to that. Those we keep on changing every quarter, and based on that, at this moment I can tell you what is overall integrity of my company, what is the overall energy level of my team and everything. And based on that, my software at end of every quarter, my software gives, by using AI, they're giving one prescription to each and every individual. Okay, you need to improve this, you are doing this good, you need to carry this on. This is all software generated, okay? But along with that, he has to take this report and he has to report, because ours is not a management kind of company, we are a family. So there is no word like management in my company. So we have senior family members, we have junior family members. And so he has to go to his senior family member or his senior, and he has to talk to him for somewhat 20-30 minutes every quarter. Okay, this is what is software has prescribed me, but let me know how I can improve myself. So we are utilizing data to train my people, to encourage them, to motivate them, so that by next quarter end, they are showing improved performance and improved efficiency as well. So this is how we are using our data. So
This is a warning for all computer science people here. Mechanical people encroaching our field. They're creating their own softwares.
yeah. So this is how we are using data to improve efficiency of our team. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shashiji. I was listening to you, and I thought that
One more
HR
thing I would like to add. See, we have salary increments every year, you can say, after every 12 months. So who has performed what, and how is his efficiency, software itself is calculating, and his salary increments were decided by software itself. We don't decide it manually. No individual influence or no senior influence, without any influence. Yeah.
That's nice.
very nice. I mean, how a technocrat can think in a HR's way. This is a very good point. Actually, I'm coming to our point of interest of the students and institutions. Actually, 100 years back, a century back, there were only 4 inventions registered. One, commercial broadcasting radio at Pittsburgh. The second was 3-lanes signal, traffic signal. Third was Band-Aid Patti Asthati. And the fourth was handhold hair dryer. 4 inventions were registered a century back. Now today, only in USA, every 20 seconds there is one invention is registered. So you know the speed with which our talent should be. We should improve our. We should enhance our talent. We should think in that manner. We have to change our curriculum. We have to change the institution's way of looking at the things. So I request all the panelists to give our institute and students your opinion how we should improve ourselves and see to that we don't become obsolete and we are our students should be industry employable.
So do you want to start? Industry people who employ.
See, he rightly pointed out many a times that when we take freshers or an engineer fresh out of an institute and he undergoes an induction kind of setup in an industry to know what is it that we do, how is it different from what you are being taught, and then there is a gap fill up activity which takes place where he gets into induction program, understands the way that things are being done, and in the process he by the time he comes to a level where he can be given a responsibility, it is almost 1 year gone. I suggest or I feel that the institutes should be knowing what is happening in the industry. They should have their pulse of the industry known. I mean, where the things are going into directions. Each sector, in fact it is mechanical or if it is a computer or electronics and other mechanics, supply, logistics, there are opportunities at every place. There are huge opportunities to capture. But you will not be able to, like in the initial stage, you will not be able to put a partition between the two different streams of engineering. You will not be able to say, no, computer will not be able to look into production, computer production will not be able to see into production. The good example that he himself has given, that they are trying to look into the aspect about how to make my things better by putting some program, putting some applications to see that whether I am doing better or not. So unless and until the individual of mechanical knows some part of how it can be done, whether it is feasible or not feasible, he should not be able to put a barrier to say that I will not be able to progress beyond this. So he should know something about the other part to know, yes, there can be a sensors available for this, there can be some data collection avenues available in this particular area. He knows immediately he will be able to rewire into his mind and say that, okay, I can do some improvement here. Same thing in a computer application or electronics or instrumentation for that part. They should be able to visualize day to day the problems that the industries throw up. They will have various problems in trying to meet the efficiency levels, the production levels, the targets, the business performance, the profitability. All these aspects, when they are trying to see it on a dashboard, and then they visualize, I am lagging behind this, I am lagging behind that. Whether we are able to, add something into the process to see whether I can improve or not. So it is imperative that today we should know, even I should know about my particular field the best, but we should also know some portion of the other areas. I am a production engineer. Okay? So in production engineer, we were aware about all the manufacturing processes, be it sheet metal industries, be it molding, be it casting, be it general machinery, lathe machines or what all things we have. We know thermodynamics. So all these we were aware. But then this is as far as the manufacturing processes are concerned. Beyond this, if I am also aware about today's portion about some part of instrumentations, about sensors, how they can be able to incorporate certain part of data collection, whether these can be used, and today I use Excel. Now Excel is a general term, there are macros also involved, but then are we able to utilize that in the full effectiveness? So a program can be done, C language can be done, Python can be understood by the people, they will be able to, these are some easy processes that are available today. And today the avenues of learnings are huge, potential is huge, you will be able to know. So you have to only, I think the institute have to only tell the students that they cannot put a barrier beyond only one particular field, try to look around, see the other industries, what they are trying to do in the other fields of computer instrumentations, and try and acquire, be aware, at least be aware about what is happening in the other departments too.
See, as far as institutions or academics are concerned, I think we basic, I believe problem of, solution of every problem is lying in our basics. So if we really learn or start looking back to the basic or going back to the basic, we'll find solution of each and every problem. So what I believe, institute should teach student how to be punctual. See, we are talking and most of the students are completing their homework. So we should teach them that what is being discussed here, it is very important for their future, as well as we should learn to start every program on time. We, as you rightly said, 10 a.m. is 10 a.m. So 9:55 you should be there. If we teach this to our student as institutes, that is actually help themselves and industries and finally at large to this nation as well. We are traveling globally, we can see this thing, then why we don't implement those things? Why don't we inculcate those things from the schooling or from the colleges itself? I think that is more important. Then definitely whether it is industry 4.0 or industry 5.0 or maybe the upcoming challenges and revolutions, will be definitely able to change ourselves and take this country forward. So I think institute should focus on this kind of things only initially, and rest, if we have discipline, some time before someone was talking about discipline and all. I think he was talking about discipline and all. So discipline is very important part of any work or any whether if I was running a factory or institute, discipline is very, very important. Why don't we close the door when it is 11:01? That is the most important part. Why we allow people after 11 o'clock if time is decided 11 o'clock? This is the basic. Rest, revolutions will come and go, technologies will come and go, they will change every day, every quarter. That is bound to happen. Nothing is in our control. But what is in our control? And what we should teach to our students, I think this is the base.
Yeah. So I agree with Shashi on this, and also returning to the industry 4.0 thing, like how should the institutes be preparing their students for this? So see, the list is huge. Okay, there could be a number of points into that. One suggestion that I would have is the kind of projects that students do. What we have seen is that instrumentation, be it the instrumentation branch or the computer science branch, IT branch, mechanical branch, all of these are going to come to this concept of industry 4.0 when they go into the into the job place. So as an institute, what we can do is, a very simple suggestion here would be that making them aware of what is happening in the industry. Otherwise, what happens is, you finish your college and you are in such a nice environment and a happy-go-lucky kind of a situation, and then you land up in projects in the industry. Now recently, we finished a project for a luxury car manufacturer, and we did that project with 4 freshers. So those were all GTs, like graduate engineer trainees. And so we completed it in time, everything was okay. But I really had a tough time, getting work out of these 4 GTs. So that is what I'm trying to share with you. So there, yes. So what is happening in the industry? What are the different use cases that are related to Industry 4.0? So we as a service provider, we are always working with such kind of complex projects only, where we have all kinds of hardware, all kinds of software intertwined with each other, and someday the software is working, there is a problem with the hardware. The data acquisition device is working correctly, the IoT edge has gone down. So there are so many hurdles in this Industry 4.0. So what, as an institution, you need to inculcate that kind of what do you say, habit of dealing with such kind of situations, and this will happen only when students are exposed to these kind of use cases. They're exposed to these kind of projects, they're exposed to this kind of manufacturing jargon. I think would be a reasonable start to how to prepare these students for Industry 4.0. And certainly back to basics has to be the mantra for any kind of preparation, I will say. So if we have more computer science students here, I could quote examples of very simple things, like you learn SQL, but then as soon as there is a join condition coming, people back out. Okay, you learn C, but as soon as there are pointers and files coming in, you back out. So you learn C and SQL only till the point, till these points. You don't want to go ahead, right? And mind you, these are the only very basic things that are required. SQL works only on joins. Okay, so I'm just getting into some technical thing, but that is my area of work. So hence, I can quote examples like these. So yes, so discipline, then working, like hard work, there is no substitute to hard work. Okay, let me tell you that there is no substitute to hard work. For the last 4 months, we have been working 12 hours a day. We have worked on weekends also. Okay, the project involved everything. There were mechanical components, electronic components, there was software, everything was there. But now, because of Industry 4.0, all projects will be like this only. You will have everything coming in together. So as a computer science professional, you will not have this, flexibility to say that, oh, I haven't learned this, I will not do this. Okay, so only when institutions will provide this kind of a platform in-house itself, before the students get exposed to the job place or the marketplace, only then I think the students will be really somewhat prepared to face those kind of situations.
Very nicely.
I would like to add something. See, institute should teach student about the process of learning, unlearning, and relearning.
Yes.
Because I don't remember where I heard this, but somewhere in US, who will be the illiterate of 21st century? Those who don't know the art of learning, unlearning and relearning will be the illiterate of 21st century. That is what someone said. So institute should teach these, or they should inculcate this kind of culture. Okay, you have learned this, but there is again about basics I'm talking. Our parents usually, when we were in 10th standard, so they used to say, okay, this time board exam है भाई, अच्छा कर ले, इसके बाद में मजे मजे तेरे. Then again हम 12वीं में जाते हैं. Okay, बोलते अरे नहीं, इस बार तेरे को अच्छा कॉलेज मिलना चाहिए, IIT में या कहीं तो भी. तू इस बार स्टडी कर ले, बस बाद में मजे ही करने हैं तुझे. जब कॉलेज मिल जाता है तो फिर बोले नहीं, अच्छा जॉब मिलना चाहिए, अच्छा प्लेसमेंट होना चाहिए. So actually हम गलत सिग्नल देते हैं बच्चों को. What I feel कि हम स्टडी तेरा बंद हो जाएगा तो तू मज़े करेगा, ऐसा हम उसको बताते हैं. ये एक्चुअली गलत है. स्टडी कभी ख़त्म नहीं होता है. Sometime before only this year I'm 46 now. Today only I'm completing 46. This year.
Happy birthday.
So this year I got admission in Harvard, 1 year executive program. So I'm traveling to Harvard this year. So study is never ending process. ये हमने सिखाना चाहिए बच्चों को कि भाई तू कर ले इसके लिए ठीक है लेकिन स्टडी कभी ख़त्म नहीं होगा. Because if you don't study, if you don't upgrade, you will be outdated. आप बाहर हो जाते हो उस प्रोसेस से. ये सिखाना बहुत ज़रूरी है बच्चों को.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Learning, learning, and then relearning. This is very important for this time. Thank you very much, Medaji. Very nicely put. You explained everything in a nice manner. शशि जी थोड़ा harsh language में उन्होंने कहा कि we must be very disciplined if we want to.
The same is applicable to the faculties
Faculty also.
not only the students. Yeah.
So, very nice discussion. Again, this last question is open to everybody, all panelists. What should be, do you think that only curriculum will suffice or will be sufficient for the need to cope up with the situations our students are facing? Or we should have partnership with industry, like you people, that you should take 1 day or 2 days, 3 days, short programs with industry partnership and train our boys frequently regarding what are the changes, how we should take these challenges from technologies posing before us. Anybody can.
Yeah. You want to start? Okay. So my one last recommendation is what you are asking. Like I mentioned, so this industry's academia interaction subject has been beaten to death, and we have been discussing this for very long. What I think is, that a consistent program should be run, a disciplined, consistent program should be run, and like I said, the program should be monitored and reviewed from time to time to see what kind of results we are getting. If we are talking only about the industry academia interaction. Otherwise, whatever is applicable to students is also applicable to the faculty. And in all of this, it is the institute who needs to facilitate, of all these things so that all these things get done basically. So if we are talking about students, trying to learn manufacturing jargon, so the faculties also need to be, along with them. And gone are the days when it was assumed safely that it is the faculty who should know everything. Okay, so that's not true at all now. It is like, the student can know more than the faculty, and the faculty has to be really broad-minded to accept this, that yes, the student can know more than me, he should know more than me. Has to be the basic rule here. Okay, and so for faculties also it is the same, that you also need to learn, you need to unlearn, you need to relearn, so that you are keeping pace with what is happening outside. So everybody, the students maybe, or it may be the institution, or it is the faculties, you have to travel that extra mile to get these objectives fulfilled. Yeah, so it's for everybody, not only the students.
Thank you, thank you.
See, I feel I will show the picture about the other side of the student side, about the industry. From the manufacturing side, whatever are the problems that they are facing, many problems, they are having a huge heap of problems available, day-to-day issues are there. Are they able to tackle that on a daily basis? Are they really giving their whole in trying to resolve all the problems? No. What they do, they prioritize the one which are impacting them at the top of the list. That is how they will first attack, and then the balance are being being taken and managed. They are managed. But then in that situation, what are we going to do with these one which are being managed? What are they doing? They are not having time. The people are not able to focus. Their day-to-day activities are being, eating up into those avenues for correcting it. These are the opportunities available for the students to take up. These are the small problems. Let there not be a bigger problem taken up from the industries. There are small issues which are to be taken up. data collection itself is a bigger issue many a times. There is a breakdown available, why it has happened, what has happened, they are not able, they are not bothered. First thing that the person in charge of that is seeing is how I can start that again. And then he will try and see how it can be corrected and why it has happened and all that kind of thing. But these areas, if a person from the industry, from the students, if they are able to see these small problems, try to learn from them, try to see the rigmaroles of the day-to-day activity and try and capture that, they will be able to, fast forward and see themselves in that shoes in a later date after they graduate and see what kind of hardships that they face. They will become mindful, they will become, tuned to the fact that these are the pressures that they are having. They will also be tuned to know what are the impacts that are, having it on the business. They will know why they are so much worried or stressed because of this particular aspect about the downtime. That aspect can be, immediately taken up. So it is not that when the business is doing better, they are very, very smooth. No, they don't, they have a lot of problems. But then that issues, if that can be presented to the students, more such projects can be taken up. It can be spread out in a month's time, it can be spread out in a week's time. I think that also is more than enough. Institutes should be able to coordinate with industries to see that these options are made available. These options are open for students to come and experience and take up these small projects. I think this institute should play that role of, I would say, bridge between the industry and this. And from the students' point of view, yes, they should be equally passionate about the work that they are being entitled, and then trying to see whether they can learn out of that something. Even if it doesn't succeed, but let them be able to know what has been their learning out of this 1 week. Even if it is a 1 week, unsuccessful stint is also okay. But they should be able to spend some time in the industry.
Sometime before Medamam said the bottle filling and the trust issues. So why we should have trust issues? I think there should not be. When he's an employee, he's coming inside the gate and he's being paid for that. Why he has those trust issues? I think the industry 5.0, which will be around the corner, I will say. Okay, see, I will give some basics. The first industrial revolution and second industrial revolution, there was a period of somewhat 50 years. And from second to third, it was gap of around 30 years. And third to fourth, it was around 20 years. And yeah, around. But as this time is decreasing, so industry 5.0 is not far. Yesterday I was discussing with somebody, he said we have almost 10 years for industry 4.0. No, we don't have 10 years. We don't have 10 years. So how much time we have, that I don't know. But what is, we as a institution, or we as a families as well, we need to teach our people for human-centric behavior, because there will be a time soon that organization will be human-centric instead of technology-centric, and that will be actually beginning of industry 5.0. So this potential, just one month back only, some minister in Central was talking about the youngest country. We are the youngest country. We'll have maximum number of young people, and we have chance to grow. But before that, we must see, not only, I'm not giving entire responsibility to institutions. It's responsibility of parents, families, societies, everybody, that we should teach our people to respect human potential and need to be human-centric instead of being technology-centric. That is beginning of Industry 5.0.
Yeah, Shashiji, and because now our employees and our children, students, they are living with machines and gadgets. We should understand
When,
that,
when there is
about-
trust issue, it is definitely not from the employee side. It must be the employer side, must be the promoter side. That industries need to look into.
Yeah, good, very good. So we must understand that they are living more and more with machines. So their behavior we should understand. Then only we will be in position to run the industry, business, academic institutions, everything. I'm very thankful to the panelists. At the age of 67, I have learned so many things from these guys. Mr. Shashi must be very young to teach me so many things. I'm thankful to you. Thank you very much. I will finish this with one share. गिरते हैं शाह सवार ही मैदान जंग में, गिरते हैं शाह सवार ही मैदान जंग में, और तिफल क्या गिरे जो घुटनों के बल चले. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ghosh Babu. Over to you.
Dear students who are present here, if you have any questions from the audience, please speak up. Okay, so I have. Yes. Okay.
Hello sir. You are 26-year-old, but you are 26-year-old. 26, sorry, 26. But you don't look like 24.
See, my daughter is sitting
46.
next to you.
Okay, okay. Sir, you said my English is not very good. That's why I try to speak in Hindi. आपने 4.0 पा, उसमें आपने 24 डेज से 9 डेज पे रिप्लेस किया आपने जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग है. तो सर इसमें इसकी मीनिंग है कहीं ना कहीं जॉब को फायर करना पड़ेगा आपको, बहुत सारी जॉब्स को. तो इसमें कौन सी जॉब जो इसको रिप्लेस करके आप कौन सी न्यू जॉब लाने वाले हैं, मतलब लाने वाले हैं, आ चुके हैं?
See, there is always misconception about Industry 4 and artificial intelligence that this is going to be tech job of many people. Okay, so I would like to ask few questions to audience. How many of you know about the? Please sit down. About neuromarketing. Please raise your hand. Who knows about neuromarketing? No one knows. So this is one of the term, and there is a hell lot of research is going on across globe on neuromarketing. So I do agree that Industry 4 and smart factories will take out some now. They will reduce, but there will be creation of new jobs as well, and those will be far more than what jobs are available today. Because I will give your generation might not be knowing, but our generation knows that somewhat 15-20 years before there were no mobile shops, and now you go to any marketplace, 20-25% shops are related to the mobile or smartphone. Am I right? If you have at least 20 shops, 2 to 3 out of those shops will be for mobile accessories and mobiles and all. So this business and these jobs were not available 15 years before, and those are available. So I given one word, just go and Google it. It's neuromarketing. So like this, there were technologies, there were people working in India and US and Europe as well for creating new jobs. So let's bother about jobs and all. If technology comes in, right, there will be creation of other jobs, new jobs.
ATM bomb ने branches बढ़ाई है,
Yeah.
बैंकों की कम नहीं की.
Right.
ATM ने खत्म नहीं की बैंक.
Right.
So many branches are there.
See, when I have reduced my manpower in manufacturing, that does not mean I have fired my other people. I have set up one factory in Pune, and the people are promoted to other higher jobs. I have not fired anybody, right? Okay. See, I think this kind of questions are expected. Yeah. So I think we must give some time for question answer. Okay, you can continue your question. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine.
Sir, you are also founder of a company. मुझे बहुत सोने सुना है बहुत लोगों से कि डिग्री मैटर नहीं करती. अगर आप कोई 2 साल दे के कोई डिग्री ले रहे हैं और अगर बाहर से वही चीज़ अगर 1 साल सीख रहे हैं तो आपको स्किल मैटर करती है कंपनीज के अंदर. तो ये आप फाउंडर है तो आप ये राइट चीज़ बता सकते हैं. ये मैटर करती है डिग्री या फिर बाहर से कोई सर्टिफिकेशन कोर्स करके हम डायरेक्ट ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं.
सी डिग्री ज़रूर मैटर करती है, डिग्री मैटर नहीं करते ऐसे कैसे बोल सकते हैं? डिग्री बहुत मैटर करती है, इट मैटर्स अ लॉट. ओके.
हार्वर्ड में एडमिशन लेते नहीं थे, किताबें भी पढ़ के graduate करते.
और सर लास्ट रिक्वेस्ट है आपकी, एक बार जर्नी बता सकते हैं आप स्कूलिंग से लेकर आपके बिजनेस स्टार्ट करते हैं.
See, actually, after successfully transforming Sigma into Smart Factory, I have decided to work for my fraternity. Because if you go outside, see, I am not belonging to any political party, but everybody is fighting for his color and his flag, okay? So I have decided to fight for my own fraternity, and that is my fellow industry owners. So if you go to online and check my website, with my name shashithete.com. I have formed one community to help industry owners, and every day 1.5 hour of my time I am giving to my fellow industry owners so that they can learn some initiative and solving their problem. Other than this, I am a business coach as well. As of today, I am mentoring somewhat 90 industry owners in Aurangabad. Okay, so journey means what? Exactly. You want my education, my family background and all?
Yes, sir. You are from business background or not?
See, this may be very shocking. I usually don't tell this because आदमी जब बड़ा बन जाता है लोग बोलते हैं कि साला उसने स्ट्रीट लाइट के नीचे बैठ के स्टडी किया था. तो this is so it is not like that. I came from a very small village from Nashik district. My schooling till 10th was in a village municipality or what you call Nagar Parishad, Jilla Parishad village. Okay, so and after that I have completed my mechanical engineering, and I started working in one small company in Walus MIDC. But within 6 months I realized that I am not made for that, so I decided to start my own. My father said, okay, if you are not enjoying your job, you should do something else. And I started my journey as entrepreneur. As a fixture manufacturer, I started. After 3-4 years, I realized that I will be not able to see growth. I was not able to visualize growth in fixture manufacturing. So in 2004, I changed my product within 1 year. I slowed down the fixture manufacturing. I increased cutting tool manufacturing. Now I have got somewhat 600 blue chip customers in India. I got 70 plus distributors in India, 9 sales offices here, as well as I am exporting to somewhat 26 countries. So definitely Harvard was my passion. So even I am following many Harvard business theories or research. So I wanted admission in Harvard. I was following them from past 6-7 years. Finally this year I got admission in Harvard.
Thank you, sir.
Small journey. Yes.
Sir, I have a question to Deshpande ma'am. Ma'am, you basically gave an example how students are reluctant to work with SQL joins, okay? And our curriculum basically teaches us just basic joins, and we only work on clients, only on a local host, okay? We are a client and we are also the host, okay? So the basically the problem is in our curriculum. The curriculum doesn't teach us how to manage, how to, sorry, can I ask you?
Please go ahead, any language. Hindi or Marathi.
हम इंडस्ट्री में कैसे काम करें जहाँ पे स्केलेबिलिटी का इशू बहुत है, लाइक ट्रैफिक जब ज़्यादा हो जाता है वी कुडंट मैनेज, हमें कैसे तो भी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना पड़ता है, बट हमारे करिकुलम में ये सब इंक्लूडेड नहीं है. सो आपकी क्या राय है, आपकी क्या ओपिनियन है कि हम कैसे इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं हमारे करिकुलम?
Okay. Should I answer? Yeah. So actually,
From which class?
MCA first year.
MCA first year.
okay. So you started with the joins example, ना? SQL
yes.
joins. तो उसका और local host का क्या relation है? वो नहीं समझा मुझे.
Ma'am, I'm just giving an example.
Giving an example. Okay. So what you say is कि जैसे industry में जो भी सारे infrastructure available होगा कोई भी project करने के लिए, वैसा आपके यहाँ पर भी available होना चाहिए. Is what you're saying, right? Right. So I think you have said it in front of the right people, and yeah, I also agree with you. Like, you know, so many a times that, so for example, we are working with Azure IoT platform. Okay. Now this is what the customer wanted. He wanted his application to be on Azure IoT platform with all Azure IoT kind of components. You had Cosmos DB, IoT Hub, and you know, Azure Data Factory and everything. Now, do you have these kind of things in your premises, in your institution, is the question that you're trying to ask. So what I would say is that you can always have, you know, free subscriptions, free accounts on all these kind of platforms, and you'll get substantial time of say 1 month to, you know, with that free account.
Yes, sir.
And you can always explore such kind of technologies. And I'm sure if you discuss this with your faculties will be equally eager to, you know, do this with you. So you know, be carefree and make a list of what kind of infrastructure you want. Discuss it with your teachers, and you know, teachers of today are equally free-minded, broad-minded, and they will also want to learn with you. Yeah, make a list and then take it ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yes, the answer is yes. Institutions should be able to provide such kind of facilities to the students, and only then, you know, you will get a taste of what is happening in the world outside. Certainly yes. Yeah. But there is a trade-off, you know, all the time between, you know, having some things and having, you know, something else. So you need to figure that out. Not you in the sense, in totality, the team, the institution, the faculties and the students need to figure this out.
Yeah. Can I say something? Because I don't know what is your syllabus is, because I'm not from MCA. But whatever syllabus we have designed for this MGM University, so we are concerned with all the academicians, renowned institute academicians and industry people. But as you said, you are there in first year. Okay, so you might have not know about what you have in the next year or in the second semester. So might be your question is solved in the next curriculum, next semester syllabus. And then one more thing is there, we cannot include everything, because nowadays, as we know that we are from computer background, so every 6 months or every 2-3 months new technology comes. So it's not possible to add all those things in the curriculum.
Yes, I'm here.
So you have to learn from yourself also. So online or some other way.
One more thing is that every discipline we have 6 months implant training for the last semester.
Very nice.
So you can go to the industry, you can have implant training. But big question is that how seriously you are doing your implant.
Yes.
That is also big question.
Yes.
It's always a two-way
We also have
process, you know.
we also have Coursera. And it is free to all the students.
Wow.
How many courses you have completed on Coursera? Or how many students have completed the number of courses on Coursera? That is a big question. So there are, every coin has two sides,
Yes, sir.
right?
I agree with this.
Did you get an answer to your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one of the nice ways to learn more is to participate in Kaggle competitions. Kaggle, I'm saying, right? Okay.
So, myself is Sudhir Rata. I'm faculty of chemical engineering. Mainly since last 15 years, I'm listening this term industry institute information, but the implementation was not there. But always industry is expecting from the faculty side, management is expecting from faculty side. We have also our problems. So why this not happen? So you are saying that this current syllabus, this should be implemented, students should know these things, but no one is ready to listen our problems. Everyone is saying that there should be the industry-student interaction. So what will be the solutions?
What is the solution of this problem?
Actually, there should be coordinators from institute, the professors or faculty as coordinators. And I was a principal of the engineering college, and I was having my experience with industry is fantastic. Because what happens is that industry is having, you know, how Shashi was talking about the time management. Because nobody is giving his time back to him. So it is a precious thing in life. That is why industry will never like your students, that your students, they are coming and visiting industry as if they are going to the picnic. So if they are serious, industry people, they definitely help you. You know, there are so many
Industry, but there should be some that our learner should also know the industry.
I have one thought over this. I don't know how much it can get to know. First year in the engineering, and there are 4 years curriculum we have, and we do internship 6 months at the end of your curriculum of 4 years, or your last semester. By the time they are exposed to whatever they have learned in the first year, already 3 years have gone, and then they are very less knowledge about what they have learned in the first year. I suggest that every year, whatever they are learning, I think if they are exposed to that portion about that particular subject in the industry, let there be a conducted tour, let there be a exposure to, they can be also called here, show the components or what they are manufacturing, the process engineering that they undergo, what in manufacturing, even in the process industry also. If they are able to visualize things about what they have learned and what actually is happening in the industry. For example, I don't know how many are in mechanical or production engineering, but if, for example, a CAM is there, CAM we have seen it only in the books in the first year. By the time they go into industry in 4th year, the CAM is somewhere else in the portion, and then you exactly are not able to go back and to see how the actual functions of the CAM is being reproduced on the machine. Each year, I would say that let there be a conducted tour into the industry of what on the subjects, each subject that they learn. And if they are able to expose to those parts and the learnings of the process, manufacturing process, I think they will be able to cement it in their head about this manufacturing process, about those parts, the advancement that takes place. Maybe they have seen it in one particular portion, one particular industry. The other industry may be much more advanced. They will be able to relate it more better once they take it into the industry or going into the industry. That's my suggestion.
Okay, so we'll sum up here. The session will be sum up. So we, in this panel discussion, we understood that there is continuous data collection, and then the data collection is being used for identifying the various bottlenecks, and then these bottlenecks, and also the data is used for finding the solutions. Shashi Tere sir talked about the objective evaluation actually. I mean, he did not use perfectly this word, but the computer decides who gets the internet. That I believe is an objective evaluation. And at the same time, we are talking about Industry 5.0 where there is a worker-centric. So these two are definitely in conflict with each other, but then I guess slowly the system will learn, and slowly the computers will also learn how to do that, because there is sentiment analysis. We also saw that student and faculty members, faculty colleagues like us, and students, they should learn from the industry, and they should, seek out from the industry. We will also seek out from the industry for learning, for upgrading ourselves, and we ended up with a concept called video marketing. Maybe I will investigate on what is that. And thank you all the panel members for having this interesting discussion. I declare that the session is closed.